Hey, this is Chris Spencer from UNSANE. You're listening to Heavy Mag. We're reissuing our first record, our first self-titled record, Remastered. Pre-sales start tomorrow. So if you got any interest, check it out.
Beautiful. Chris, thanks for joining us this morning, whatever it may be.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, man. So as you mentioned, UNSANE will be releasing the remastered reissue of your self-titled 1991 debut album on September 23rd. So firstly, man, why now, 31 years later, have you decided to re-release the album?
It never got repressed. And during the pandemic, my friend and manager, Todd Cote, got all the rights to all of our shit back to us. So now we own pretty much everything. There's one record we didn't get because that was on Atlantic Records, but we got everything back. So we figured we'd just start reissuing stuff, starting at the very beginning and doing it all chronologically.
Okay, cool. And when you say remastered, what exactly does that mean?
We went back and I had the original DAT tapes and stuff. So we had my friend Andrew Snyder, who recorded I think the last four, UNSANE records. We had him go back and just beef it up a little bit. It was kind of missing some of the sort of high and mid, and the level was kind of low on it. It was just sort of how things were done at the time. It was so long ago. So he just kind of pumped it up a little bit. It really sounds awesome.
And the original had pre-recorded crowd noises that you had recorded yourself on a cassette recorder at your shows, mate. So is that still going to be there?
Yeah, it's all the same shit. All the same shit's on there. It's exactly the same. It's just been re-EQ'd and pumped up a little bit in mastering.
So looking back on reflection, mate, I know it's your debut album, so it's going to mean something special for you. But in reflection, mate, what does that album actually mean for you?
Oh my God, that album was for me just summation of the time. We were doing a lot of touring. A ton. We were kind of on tour probably 10 months out of the year, crashing on people's floors and cat hair and beer and just constantly touring. So the record really to me was a way to sort of break in to a scene. There was kind of a noise rock thing starting to happen. And it really let us solidify ourselves in that whole scene, because it was kind of a cool time and there's a lot of shit going on. So it was cool to be part of that and to actually get that record out on Matador and sort of establish ourselves. And then we could actually go out and tour more. So
and the band originally recorded tracks for what was supposed to be your first album, Improvised Munitions, but that wasn't released, mate. What's the story behind that?
Oh man, yeah, that's a real shit show. So is it okay to swear on this?
Yeah, mate, go for your life, brother.
Oh. All right. Well, thanks. Yeah, no, we recorded it and it was actually kind of short. I'm listening to it now. I was like, holy shit, it was kind of short. But this guy, Ernie Ciccarelli, ran a label called Circuit and had hit us up, and he was doing Cop Shoot Cop and Surgery, and he was kind of just starting out his label. So we recorded them. We turned in everything. And then Ernie came up to me at the Pyramid Club in New York and handed me a test pressing, which I took home, listened to, gave it approval. But Ernie just disappeared altogether, just off the face of the earth, completely disappeared. And over time, I kept trying to reach him. He never showed up, never turned up. I discovered that he had developed quite a habit, a cocaine habit. So he had been in debt to all these drug dealers, I guess. And I'm not sure if he skipped town or he was killed or something, but we never heard from Ernie again. I went on tour and left the test pressing in my basement apartment. While I was gone, my junkie roommates sold every piece of vinyl in my room and the test pressing was gone. Cut to 20 years later, maybe even a little more. I found on the internet that somebody actually had a copy of it. So it took me forever to track him down, track the guy down. He had bought my test pressing in a used record store in 91. Okay. So we were able to get that back from him, remaster that from the vinyl and get that out.
Well, so that's actually been released now?
Yeah, that was released, I think like a year and a half ago, something like that. Yeah.
Did any songs
No,
from that
go on.
make it to the actual self-titled debut?
Pretty much most of them got on there. There were different versions because we had been touring on them, like I said.
Yeah.
And so we've done them a shit ton more. And so then we just re-recorded the entire thing. And that's when I took all the live shit from the cassettes and put it in between songs to sort of represent more the live, you know, the live sound.
Yeah. And the original cover for this album stood out with a picture of a decapitated man lying on a train track, mate. So did you choose that image for shock value, mate, or was it to make a statement?
No, I mean, it was Pete Shore, our bass player at the time, had this friend that worked for the cops in New York. He's a police photographer, and the guy had given Pete like a bunch of random photos and stuff, and Pete always loved that photo. So when we got a chance to do our own artwork, we immediately just went to those police photos and picked that one because he had been holding on to it forever.
Are you going to be using the same cover this time around?
Oh yeah, same cover. Yep, all the same artwork.
Wow, you don't think, like, you find the music industry these days is becoming a lot more sanitized, mate? Like, you can't get away with half as much as you could back then. You don't think you're going to cop any grief?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not sure even how we're going to be able to like advertise this on any social media because I think it gets blurred out every time we try. So we'll see how it goes. I still don't know how it's going to work out. So we'll see.
Fucking progress, eh?
Yeah, total censorship. So whatever.
So do you think, like, musically this album has stood the test of time, or do you think it's still as relevant today as what it was back then?
Oh, totally. I think I mean, for the time period it's from, totally. It's a really, I'm really proud of that record. It's like one of my favorites that I've ever done. Yeah, it's pretty raw, man. And now that it's remastered, it really kicks. So, you know, I think it totally stands the test of time. And now we're doing, during the pandemic as well, like we were in lockdown and me and two buddies of mine started doing all that early shit. And actually did a show like when the world started opening again. So we're actually going to be touring on just this early stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a lot more aggressive and sort of more punk rock than the sort of medium years that we got kind of heavy there in the middle. So
so let's just go back to the start of the band, mate. Like, what was the musical climate like that gave birth to you guys back in the late 80s? And where did you fit in back then?
Back then it was kind of considered like a bunch of people kind of called it like scum rock. It was really nasty Lower East Side drug violence climate around us. And we practiced in this basement space with Pussy Galore, you know, John Spencer's early band, and Cop Shoot Cop. And did a lot of just played live around the neighborhood all the time. It was really like a really vibrant scene, but the whole area was really pretty fucked up and drug ridden and total violence and craziness. You'd see like cars burnt on the street and stuff all the time.
Jesus. And then what was your early vision back then? Like, why did you actually get into music and form this band?
I mean, I just love playing music. I've always loved playing music since I was a kid. And honestly, it was really a reflection of what was going on, you know, in this crazy place at that time. I really felt like the music really represented, you know, how I felt about this whole fucked up scene that was going on in New York. New York was really getting fucking shitty. They were going to start turning, the city was broke. They were going to start turning off every third street light. I was driving a cab out in Jamaica, Queens. It was just a crazy place. And I really feel like, especially with the live noise in between songs and stuff, it really sort of represents that place.
So you mentioned that you've got the band back together again, like with some new members playing older stuff, mate. So does that mean that we won't ever hear any more new music from UNSANE, or do you still plan on doing that eventually?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not, we're actually thinking about maybe just doing like a few 7-inches to get going, and maybe sneak those in, because Lamb Unlimited is releasing every UNSANE record chronologically. So we're gonna try and maybe sneak in a few singles here and there, just to kind of get some new shit out there.
Very good. All right, mate. Well, thanks for your time today, Chris. The reissued self-titled debut from 91 is re-released again on September 28th this year. September 23rd, sorry. So keep yourselves an eye out for it. Made a quick listen to it today, mate, and she's fucking brutal. I hope to see you out here in Australia playing it one day.
Yeah, I'd love to, man. Love to. Thanks for having me, Chris.
No worries, brother. Have yourself a good day.
You too. Take it easy.